So far, I've been sharing this story with you about my neighbor, and his name was John. And I have to tell you that going across the road to share this with him was something that I was trained to do. That's part of why we've shared this stuff for the last week and a half, because this is something that you could take and you could do. It needs to fit to your own personality, but this is kind of how you share it. It gives you a path, it gives you a roadmap. But your personality is what's important to this. See, as I shared with John that day, and he sat with me, the people that were there from the church, and they knew the things that I was going to say next, or at least they knew a little bit about it. The problem was that I was sharing the things that we talked about last week. I shared with him what sin was. I shared with him about missing the mark. But it gave you different analogies and different numbers and things like that, and I have to tell you, I screwed everything up. When it got to the part about sin, we were supposed to have so many sins in a day, and I had the wrong number. Then it got to a point where we talked about an omelet and how if you put a bad egg in with all these good eggs, well, you would still notice that bad egg because that's what sin does in our life. Once again, there was a certain number we were supposed to use, and I screwed everything up. I got nothing right. And yet John sat there and looked at me face to face the entire time, and the more we talked, the more I could tell that this was something that was personal. We were going further and further along, and I was sharing these things with him, and I could see that it meant a lot to him. And the reason it meant a lot to him is because sitting across from him was someone who cared about him. Sitting across from him was someone that loved him. I want you to think about that person that loves you and that you love so much that you want to know that they are alongside of you forever. Because the story with John is going to take a huge twist over the next 2 days.